Great. Yeah. So, like, what happens is, in usually in AutoCAD, it's lenter is only one command where line tool comes up, or any like rectangle, or everything has an initial letter, single letter. What happens is, here there are multiple options to which start with L. So when you say L, the first option that usually people select and usually people use is a line. That's why it prefers a line. But whereas you have, like, you can see a list of commands coming up. So there's probably this is a kind of a drawback, you can say, where you have to know the entire command that you want to type. And if it is a basic command, then it just says like you are good to go with lenter or something like that. Okay. Now, a good part about this application is, we have thought, like, there are the like people there are people from different batches right now, and still everyone has a single thing called, like, when you start with any design, you start with a pocket, some specifics of the design. Like, if you're starting with the zoning, there are few people who start with section. So whatever you do, you start with those basic aspects. So if I say, some mostly people start with zoning. So what do, you say, like, so this is a rectangle tool. You draw a rectangle like RE. So you can see, like, even if I say RE, still I didn't get a rectangle here, because there are different commands which comes much further than that. So you have to, like, type the entire thing, RECT. Now it gives me a rectangle. So now when I start drawing the rectangle, there are 4 different views on a basic template which Rhino provides by itself. So there's a top view, like the plan, front, right, and perspective. So um, these basic tool helps you to kind of figure out what style of way you are working. I mean, if for example we start with zoning, so I'll do with that way. So in top view, I have something like this. So I assume this is so this rectangle, I assume it as a living room, and then I again type it. This one is a deck area. There's a small kitchen. There's a bedroom. So this layouting is done in a 2-dimensional format on the top view. Even if you move it anywhere, still the layout remains same, and it remains like the line will be seen in the box will be seen as a single line in the front view, in the right view. So the problem of visualization which I felt many people of you face, that was for the a perspective which you are not able to achieve. Like, if you say, if you come up with a zoning, so this can be my bubble, maybe. So this thing might be my bubble diagram, and later on what happens with the space, that is something that you want to explore. So in architectural drawing terms, that's like front diagram, in some front elevations or in right elevations, whatever. This is one way of designing. There's another way where, I guess people have, there are few people who told us ki when we got a brief, I thought of a section that there is a courtyard and all in that section. So you can straight away draw that in here, like in the, one second, in any of the elevations. So these things are elevations. Like, um, check the perspective window when I draw anything here. You see that whatever I draw here, that thing is only on the is linear in a perspective form. So on plan it remains straight, and in perspective it just is just a elevational line that you draw. So for example, if you think it in this way, that you have a section where there's a courtyard, and there's a tree in between, and there's a porch around it or something like that. So again, a basic line command, li. whenever you type any command in any software, not about Rhino, in any software, whenever you type a command, always see what it asks for, because there are different ways to draw the line. Understand the idea of how the modeling is done in every software. That will probably make your life much easier, and it will always open the idea of exploring the modeling part of the architecture, because architecture is not like or any design is not like only for modeling. It's more of the ways, or it's just like a X factor that you can say that that gives life to your design, and not the other way around. Like it shouldn't be like कि मैं box बना सकता हूँ तो मैं मेरा design box ही बनाऊंगा. It should in fact it should be like this should be my like I have a organic design, a slightly box somewhere, and then I should think of modeling it. These were the few observations that we came across while talking to you guys. So yeah, so when I say line command, there are different ways to draw a line. Like you can say like assume a first point and the second point, that will draw a line. That is the first one, both sides. Then there are now, sorry. Yeah, so this is the basic one that you use like for the start, to just draw a line from end to end. There are different angles and all where you can actually tilt the line in different aspects. So we'll go that, like just for the starting thing, I think this is the best way to do it. So if you start with a section, I would say something like, sorry, both sides. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just draw a basic section. Okay, so there's a space bar. Like there's a command that the Rhino uses, like in AutoCAD or in AutoCAD. I think you have a command saying L enter, and next time you want to if next time you want to use the same command, you again type you again type space bar or again type enter, and the command repeats by its own. In Rhino, you also have spacebar as the enter button, but as well as you have a right click. So perspective, like a simple zoom in, zoom out works on the scroll. A right click is an orbit. A right click is an orbit, and a right click with a shift is a pan. Okay. So uh, these are the basic controls that you can work on. I mean, a right click for a orbit, shift and pan, shift and right click for the pan, and scroll in, scroll out for the zoom in, zoom out. Just want to know, is everyone having a laptops right now on, or are people joined with phone or something? Like, can you just type on chat so that we know?
Or just kind of start speaking as well.
Yeah, I mean, is everyone on mute or what?
Yeah, I mean, they can unmute themselves.
Okay.
Okay, most of you are from on laptop. Some of you are from on the phone.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Cool. Guys, if you can unmute yourself, like we want that you talk to us, because these things you can get on online also as well. So don't worry, like no one knows anyone, so it's okay.
Actually, they
फर्क
do. I
नहीं
think
पड़ेगा.
most of them are LSR students.
हाँ, yeah. I mean, it's okay. You can build a community here, right, as well. Okay, great. So if you guys are working, if you guys are like if you have Rhino or something, you guys can also, like if you can start with it, it's well and good.
Or maybe
Like
you
you
can
can
just
just,
share your access to
yeah, you
one
can
of the.
share your access.
No, like your access.
हाँ, मतलब someone can get my access to anyone. If you
Yeah, if
anyone
someone.
wants to try, I'll give you access to my PC.
You can just pick them at random.
Okay.
So like, let's just kind of create like a basic house block. Anshul,
Yeah, fine. I'll go with that.
shall I create that?
Yeah. I'll give you
Cool.
the access.
Okay. Cool. Okay, cool. Oh man. Cool. So I am able to control Anshul's laptop, I think.
I'll just, hey, 1 second. I'll just minimize this chat thing so you can get the properties.
I can see everything.
Okay.
Cool. So let's just go with what Anshul has created. And now we need kind of like an extrusion to create a block. So whom do we have here? Charmy, can you tell us, can you like guess the command for creating an extruded, I guess, extruded box out of this? Just guess. Charmy is not responding. Heli, could you just kind of guess? Okay, is anyone willing to guess what the command for extrusion is? X,
E-enter.
E-enter, yeah, close enough. So like, let's go with,
Push.
it's E-enter, that's like really close. So it's like extrusion, you don't have to think much. So let's just type extrude.
Extrude curve or drag the gumball.
Yeah. So we have like extra, like when I type ext, there's like a ton of commands. So we know this is like a curve. This is definitely not a surface. So we'll select extrude curve over here. You can just keep on typing extrude and then, all right. So we have a box here. So you're not able to see it because it's not shaded. So in this drop down menu, you just select shaded. All right.
So there are similar to, I guess, SketchUp or any other software, there are different styles of how the block or how the surface that you can how the surface are presented. So there are different commands. Nishan, can you show them the styles that
Oh yeah.
are? Yeah. So there is rendered. There are ghost. Just
Yeah, we
go
can
to
just
any.
like try them out. Like you can just do that.
Yeah.
Can you control your mouse?
Okay. So I'll go with ghost. So yeah, in the ghost thing, the lines, like the surface get ghosted a bit, and you can still see it. That technical thing, yeah, it's only 2D. So technical means you can see a dotted thing. Okay, so yeah, whatever line is behind, like in a technical drawing, you make a dotted portion behind, and then that's what they have done. Artistic.
No, artistic is not much different, I think. Or is
Yeah.
it? Yes.
It's just a sketchy texture.
I thought you crashed it.
No. Yeah. Okay. So usually we work on shaded. The reason of this is like you can see the entire mass right now, and also you can see the surfaces. Like you can see the surface how they are, the way they are.
Yeah, I
Usually
mean,
when
like you can see some shadow, a bit of reflection. So
yeah, you
so
can
it's
see
like
a bit of reflection, the shadow of it, like how the surface would feel like. You can get a basic idea. That's the reason people mostly use shaded. Also, when any surface get broken up into any part, so everyone knows, like this is basic, right? Everyone knows a cube or a cuboid will have 6 sides. if any of the sides will break, or if any of the sides have any break in it, there will be a break in the surface itself, which makes you understand how the surface is going on, like how the surface is folding. It's like a paper thing. How it is. Is it a mass, a single mass, or is it like somewhere bended, something like that?
Cool.
Okay.
Anshul, can you create another link for the Zoom? Because I think we will run out of time soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool. So now we'll kind of try to make this look like a house. So I think it's like sub curve. So like this is like a surface, and then we create like a curve on the surface. So like once I select once I click on one of the edges of this surface, I'll get the point, and then like just click somewhere. Oops. Sorry. This is new to me because like I am used to using Mac.
Surface tool and
no, I'm just looking for
solid.
The sub curve.
Yeah, it's here. Split the face. So any extension you got, put it and you split it. So yeah, now you can see the entire surface has got cutted into different parts. So I can actually see a surface here. So this surface becomes different. This surface becomes different for me. So suddenly you can see a line here, and the entire like the entire model tries to understand that there are two surfaces which can interact separately. So now if you try if we try the extrusion again, and this time not the curve, because this two are like a different surface. So this time we say it's a surface. So you can see there is one here, there is another here. Okay, I'll just unselect this. Yeah, and I can just extrude that particular surface separately, and the entire mass still remains the same. So a block modeling that you do, like a zoning modeling, this is something that can really help you out for quick modeling, and quick modeling, and to just visualize how the parts are, or how this entire thing would look like. So for till now, like, does anyone have anything to ask, or is सब समझ गया, ये सब कुछ नहीं समझा, बहुत ज्यादा चला गया, क्या हुआ मतलब तुम्हारे साथ इतना अभी तक? You can just type it, or you can unmute and say, like,
Yeah, it's
no
actually
problem.
better if you unmute because like it's really difficult to.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I had this question, like while working on Rhino at times because of the screen, or like when I try to model and all, the lines actually go above the ground surface or the surface. So like here you're in the perspective, your model is resting on the ground. That's the plane given by Rhino. But at times it just shifts up, but in the elevations you can see the difference. But
Interesting.
in the top view, it's like it's on the same
But the point,
plane.
I'll just show you I'll just show everyone what you are trying to say. Nishant,
Yeah.
can you just post the link here, like
I don't have the link.
Any like just a new Zoom link here, so that people can just join in again in the chat.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
Yeah. So I guess this is what happens with you. I don't know who like just asked the question. Yeah. So in plan, if you are making something, it right now in my PC it just stays in the same surface. Like you can see in the elevation, it doesn't move. It's just a point. Whereas in perspective also, it's also in a plane. As soon as I press shift, it start moving very randomly in the front elevation, but on the top view it is still at the same place. This happens because there's a command, there's a option, like in AutoCAD you have graphic snip, ortho, and all of that. Like you have different commands over here, right? The same way the same way it's yeah, graphic snap, ortho, planar, O snap. So ortho is that everyone knows in AutoCAD. There's a ortho is just for 90. Anything you want to draw in 90, 45, something like that. As soon as you switch off the planar, planar is so the plane that you can see behind the grid thing. Those are specific planes where you can work. So if I'm on a top view, that's the plane that I am working on. If I'm the front view, this is the plane that I'm working on. And you can see the axis, like the red one is the x-axis, green one is the y-axis, and there's a z1 which is not visible. So z1 is over here. So as soon as I switch off the planar and I say again line, this time my 3D in 3D I'll just close the ortho. Like, yeah, now you can see the lines are very randomly moving around. I'll just draw a curve for understanding how random it goes. Like for the command for curve is curve. You type curve, you simply do that. Yeah.
Anshul, just a minute. Guys, there's a different link right now. And after Zoom kicks us out, you guys can just join using this new link. So just copy it somewhere.
Okay. So this is what happens. Like I'm just randomly playing with the perspective, and you see how randomly the shapes are made. Like there's something upper, there's something niche going on. If you close these grid snapping is where the plane will understand that whatever happens, the curve should not go below the ground. That's what grid snapping is. So if you want to place any curve below the ground, you have to forcefully, like you have to move that thing down. That's the only way that the curve can go below the plane. But as soon as I close the grid snapping thing, again, this thing will go very randomly anywhere. I think this is what happens with you. Like it just randomly sticks anywhere and start looking haphazard. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it
but
does.
I think
Thanks
like
a lot.
the way that you fix it is just I don't have the control, but Anshul,
Yeah.
can you give me control?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see if this works. Okay. So let's start with curve, and I'll just kind of make something in the front view.
A good aspect about like I guess Vishnu asked me, this is very similar to SketchUp. Yeah, this is similar to SketchUp. The only difference in here is SketchUp is technically saying SketchUp is a mesh modeling, and this is more of a nerves modeling. In simple terms, here when you start making any curve or when you start developing any model, what happens is first you can play with all the 4 dimensions. You can graph all the 4 dimension and draw any organic thing, like the curve that you have drawn, any organic thing, and you can play with it, like what can it be in plan, what can it be in elevation simultaneously. This is one. Secondly,
Okay, I'm
Guys,
not able to figure out. I was just trying to make the Z axis of everything 0.
okay,
So
just close this.
it's going to kick us out any moment. So like,
Yeah.
just
तू
have the
chat
link.
वरती chat वरती टाकलंस का?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay. I mean, on this chat.
Yeah.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you want to place everything on the Z-axis, right? So just project it, or you say list this thing. Hello.
Yeah.
And there's one command which, one second, just let me see.
I am like completed second year and now third year.
Okay.
Okay, great. So yeah, first, like right now, if I have like if you both are there, like did you understand what happened till now, or what, like anything that you didn't understand or anything you want to know?
No, it was pretty clear. So it's fine.
Yeah,
Sorry?
it was all basics. So yeah.
Okay, great. So this thing, like now, if you just think of it in this way, that this is something that we created out of plan, right? Abhi, I'll just extrude everything so that a basic massing is created. Yep. I'll just randomly extrude this. Okay. Now, usually what happens is, we like, I'll just keep this perspective itself. Yeah. There's a thing that many of us want is we do need a massing drawing, because somewhere at the point we have to get evolution drawings and all. Like we have to generate evolution drawings, or we have to generate basic presentation drawings. Okay, so I'll just quickly tell you how that can be done. We told you about the styles, so yeah, you can have different styles here. What happens is, like on SketchUp, we usually make components, or we usually make groups of these. So if this is a particular mass, I'll probably make a group of this and color it up. In here, we can't color a individual thing. Actually, we can do it, but it gets difficult to understand. So they have used a CAD system. So you have a layers, and you can create multiple layers here. So if I say layer A, I can assign a different color to it and material separately. So just for presentation purpose, or just so that I understand while modeling, I can just say this mass goes in layer A. So this is something that you are doing for the modeling purpose. So that color is represented here, and a different material is something that you can assign to it, and that will be shown only after render. So for now, I say I assign golden color, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So even if I change it to ghost, it will still be red. If I change it to X-ray, it will still be red. Only the rendered thing will show you the golden color, because this is the only style where the software uses the material aspect. Okay, so for our conceptual drawings or something where we want to show the evolution model like that, this entire things, like in SketchUp, you model each and every part in that way, and then you put it on you get a 2D output of it, or you need to create a different model. Here you can do that in the same thing because you have different material assigned and different object assigned material. So I usually prefer Ghost because this kind of a style that I like. And yeah, so what I do is I've created this, and after this you can so one second, I can extract a selected object. If you want to say I want to just put this entire box as a conceptual, you can say, so there are two: extract selected and extract with origin. So if you are detailing only about one box, or you can say like, okay, if I just think of this box and I want this one surface to be a different color, or maybe there are these two blocks and I want one box to be a different color and this box to be a different color, and you have some idea around it, saying there's a living room here and there is or there's a different cafeteria here and a atrium over here. Just to show this, only this particular idea in the entire model, you can select on only these two, get a view, and say extract selected. The model, these two model can get separately extracted as a file for you. So you don't need to generate anything separately. So only these two model can be a separate AutoCAD drawing for you. So you can just have a 2D AutoCAD wireframe drawing and then you can edit it. These two can, exactly this perspective can become a Illustrator file or a Photoshop file for you. A further simpler aspect is, one second, I select both. I say Control P. I print it. You see this? Like only these two objects are getting printed right now. And yeah, print colored. Okay, so display color. Visibility. If you want the background gray color, you can have it, or otherwise it can get like if you don't need it, it's okay. There's one more, rastered object. So vector output and rastered object. The reason of having these two is many times there, like you might have also seen the drawings where the boundaries are like boldly, like there are bold boundaries and the rastered object are very concretely seen. So for now, like if you explore the basics of these layering system, the way they have object material, textured material, and line type. So line type can be anything. It can be dash, dot, whatever. There is also print width. It's as similar as this thing is as similar as AutoCAD line thickness that you give, any line width that you give, or while drafting as well. So right now, as usual, the default line width are always kept as 0.9 or something like that. I'll just put it around 2 so that it gets visible. In modeling, you can definitely, it won't be seen, but if you just put this around separately, I'll just click all the three. Sorry. Yep. There you go. And say Control P. So you can see here the red which we have placed in the layer, only that has a thicker line. How can we use? So now the point comes, how can we use this? If you change the color of the line, I change it to maybe something that, okay, I change it to yellow. And now I say Control P. 1 second, select. I'll do something to this as well. Say a new layer, B. I'll assign a color to it. Yes. Properties. So like I assign. So I went to properties. There's a object property of, so whatever object you select, only that object property will be seen. I shift that layer to B. Yeah, there you go. So B have some like we have some material with a default line. There is a black line default. I say I want to highlight few things here, so I can have it in magenta maybe, and a line thickness of 8. Okay, there you go. I select all of it, all the Control P again. Yep, there you go. So now I guess you can see. I'll just show a print thing. Yep. So this is a PDF. So this is what the output that you can get. Now because the surface which was behind was broken, you can even remove these lines.
Anshul,
Or
I don't think I can see your PDF.
oh, okay. Wait 1 second.
I could briefly see it.
Now can see that or no?
I can't see it.
So 1 second.
Can you just
Yeah,
select?
there you go.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, see this? I can see the line thicknesses that the software has assigned to both these groups and what is there behind. Keep this just keeping this PDF aside, I can also get one more print. Sorry, I can also get one more print saying, or one more graphics out from such small model, that is so this display, yeah, this one. So display color is actually whatever style you give it. So right now I gave the ghost style. That's the reason you can see a transparency in between. If I just change that, if I just change the style of this and say shaded, so again I select all of it, Control P. Yep. See, so now the entire drawings get shaded. A different approach to it is, you might have seen many drawings of big arch, big or any other architects where they have this form of drawing. A small shadow, a basic massing, and so just see this. What I do, I select these. Yep, I select these, Control P. Okay. You can have a vector. So the rastered output, there is one more option in the output which gives you, yeah. Okay, just a minute. Background color, light, clipping.
We don't have all those objects right now, so
We have just closed that, right? Yep. So, yep. So in the rendered thing, if you like background coloring, you have to place and render. That's the only way it can create you this. Once you once you put out this, like you create the same output in two different formats. Like one is the format that we just created, and another is something like this. You can very easily use the Photoshop tool to just to overlap both the PDFs, and you can have a decently good drawing just to present to the faculties or everything. I mean, these drawings are quickly for the whole point of telling you this was because these drawings are something which are very quickly made, and these are like few tricks which can just help you to show what you want to show and just forget about all the details that you get in the drawings. So before getting any proper modeling drawings or something like a detailed drawing, we can definitely show you those styles as well. But yeah, for the basic thing, we thought at least if you have a concept in the mind and if you want to get it on the paper, you want to present it well in a small amount of time, because there are like multiple options that you can right now create when I have these two outputs separately.
Anshul, maybe you can show them the dimensions as well.
Sorry?
The dimensions.
Oh yeah. Share it. Yep. Okay. So there are there are basic annotations that you need to do to express your drawings. I mean, like a basic diagramming purpose, we can say, like, or you can just text it or label it, or you can put a dimension saying this should be a double height space, so this should be 6 meter or something like that. So yeah, dimension command still remains the same as AutoCAD DIM. And I guess oops. Oh,
No, I think you should do dimension aligned, not dimension.
Yeah. DIM
Because
aligned.
AutoCAD uses DAL, that's dimension aligned.
You have to get it on the elevation aspect. So what happened here right now, like this, and then I'll just quickly explain you why it was showing that error. Yeah, this thing. It shows 0, 0. Even if you took the lower one, this is a very, actually it's not, there's nothing wrong with the software. It's just that it's a silly on your part, because when you create an extrusion, you assume that this is a cube. Whereas this cube was created from the curve that you have made below. So when you tell him in the perspective saying this is what the dimension I want, actually you want the dimension in a vertical way. That is the reason you have to provide it in the front elevation. If you provide it if you provide it here, like, there's no way that I can give a dimension something like this. So in a perspective dimension never works. Even if you like, I clicked two diagonals, still it will give me a dimension of this vertical plane, which you can see in the plan. The point of this, the point that it works something like this is the way you have extruded the mass, or the way you have created the mass, the software will interact to that. And annotations are something which are two-dimensional. They are not in they can never be in 3D. So either you align it to some plane and give a dimension. So even if you are providing a diagonal dimension, it will be on some plane. It will be on some particular plane. Either it will be on this side or it will be on this side. So it will be on some plane. That only that plane can frame you the annotations properly. Yeah. So once you give annotations over here, I'll just quickly put on few more. And yep, I'm good to go here. So I say Control P. Oh, sorry. Control P. Yeah, there you go. See, like right now we have ticked everything that the software wants us, like you want the software to show. You can just click on few and close it. Grid access. I like to keep it a gray background because it gets easier. It gets easier for us to click the entire, or just to present it in the same way. That's why I prefer this. Or even if you close it, it's still okay. Okay, well, so now like even if you create any bigger module or something. So for right now, I have such a big module, and I like it. It is very, if there are many dimensions like this parallelly everywhere, it's it's very tedious to kind of click everything and then say Control P or something like that. I would always suggest everyone, like similarly to AutoCAD, I would always suggest here as well to, if you are providing any annotation, create a different layer. Say annotate and just shift it on that layer, because this will help you further when the entire model gets a bit complicated. If you if you do this from the beginning, when the entire model gets complicated, the things get easier for you to solve it. Because like so there's a bulb which this works like AutoCAD. You can just close it, or you can lock that, and then it is not non-editable. So every cube can have its own dimension, and you can just keep it here. So now just a small question to you, like I have these many dimensions. So I say I have this.
Is your planer on, Anshul? That's why probably like you can only do that in one plane.
Yeah, in one plane. I can, no, still it, matlab I can diagonally grab it, but it will still place me the same.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So I selected, okay, I'll just lock these things. Oops.
I think you can select like create like a filter for selection. I think it's an edit or view.
Yeah. Just I want to ask them something. Yeah, this thing goes annotate. Okay. Cool. So yep. So now, like, what can you think if what happens here is right now, if I just close annotation, all the dimensions go for me right away. What can I do where if I want the dimensions separately, like I don't want everything to get closed at a time. I want, and I don't want suddenly all of the dimensions starts appearing. I just want the red dimensions to be here and rest can go. What can be the solution that you can suggest? Like you can just, how many people are there? Oh, there are 12. Okay. So if anyone could just say or suggestions or what they think of this, what can be the way that it can be done? Anyone?
Let's ask Utkarsh. I can see him at the bottom. Utkarsh.
Okay. I think he just joined.
Yeah, just put it in the layer of A.
You just put it into
the A layer, the main layer.
You just
which
put that this dimension to a layer.
Yeah, in different layer. Change the layer.
Okay. I mean, you just change this layer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So one suggestion. Anyone else? Like anyone else? Any other ideas to do it?
I mean, this is like one way, but there's like obviously more efficient ways, I think.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, this is definitely one way to do it. I'll tell you what is the problem in that way, and I'll tell you why sometimes it also helps you. Anyone?
Shruti, Shruti?
Who's Kim K? Who's it? I don't know.
Is that Kimaya?
No, I don't know. Is this Kimaya? No, I don't know. Whatever. Whoever is.
Yeah, that's Kimaya.
Kim K.
Okay,
yeah,
Kimaya,
so any suggestions?
Could you just suggest, like,
what do you think?
If you could speak into your mic, that would be great.
Yeah, even I think if we can put it in a different layer, it will work.
Okay.
Um,
So, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Say.
I think that's the same suggestion that she had.
Okay. Fine. Oops. Yeah. So the suggestion that Utkarsh made was to shift this to layer A, right? Okay. So I shifted it to layer A and now it becomes a part of A. What happened? It converted into red, right? Because you assigned the color to that layer, not to the particular dimension. So whatever comes in that layer, annotations or anything, that gets converted to red. You don't want that. You want your dimensions to be seen separately, right? So just do Control Z. Yeah. So there's one option in annotation itself. If you just right click on the layer and you get new sub layer. So in the same layer, you can create a different sub layer saying annotate A, sorry, A. And I can assign this to that particular layer. So even this has a drawback for sure. My layer gets separated, but at the same time, at the same time, I need to remove all these dimensions and I need to remove all these dimensions and keep them separately as well. I'll just 1 second. So in this scenario, you can't have anything in the main layer. What happens is as soon as you close the main layer, all the layers which will be in the sub layer will also get closed. Okay. So this is what I feel is a perfect solution. You create another layer. You create a sub layer. This thing. Yeah. You create a sub layer of the main layer saying annotate, I say, for B and annotate for other. I say, okay. So for B, I shift it to the B layer, and for others, I shift it to other. Okay. So in this condition, B, if I want only the drawing of A, I can simply close these things and can have just the two. So this is one way of doing it. Now, if you want to open up the B1 and the rest just stays, you can just do this. So I can still work on my entire model. Like there's no annotation which comes in between. Like right now, if you switch it on, there are many 2D graphics that I see. So there is no too much of mess while working. Just keep all of the inner annotations closed, and if you want to like shift and select all and then turn it on, or you can just do a particular thing at a time. Yeah. So this is another way of putting it. In this scenario, the dimension, the 2D dimension for every objects get separated for you. That is the reason you get flexibility of applying a different style to every different objects or every different annotation that you place. There are times when people like they create such diagrams, they create such graphics, and they put in arrows or they put 2D humans in Photoshop or something. In such scenario, I guess the 2D drawing helps you out, because once you freeze a frame and say Control P, you extracted. Yeah. So this is something I want to tell you quick.
We're running out of time already.
Oh yeah. Okay. Viewport. Window. Just say this thing. Okay. Shit, what happened?
The things are not
Okay, check
selected.
it. Yeah, the things are not selected. I say this Control P. Yep. So now if everything is, hey, shit, I shifted. Okay. Now if everything is selected, what can be done is you print this as one object and you switch on the layers that you want to show dimensions, and again say Control and again just select all and say Control P. In this case, you can see the dimensions as well. Or if you just want the objects to be seen, close the rest of the layers and select this, say Control P. Because your viewport didn't change, this PDF, as soon as you drag and drop in Photoshop, that will exactly align to where the objects are, which will probably help you developing this in a proper way. So Photoshop has a ability of layering and giving effects to every different layer. This is how Rhino is kind of using that ability to change it or to give styles and variations of different layers. That's how the conceptual drawings that you see on Pinterest, these Pinterest or any Instagram post, those are made. They work on every different layer. So what they do is they work on every different layer separately. So a box frame has been worked separately. Dimension layers are worked separately. The styles are worked separately. The background is worked separately. So this is the background. The background works separately, and the objects are separately treated. Yep. So I think
I think we are kind of running.
We are done for this. Anything? Yeah.
So
anything you want to
just like last few things, guys, like we would be doing this probably next Sunday as well. We probably we would have a bit more structure, because I do realize that this is like something that we hacked together. So probably next Sunday it would probably be more structured. We would have like an end goal as well. Now we do want to have some interviews in the future, like with 4th yearites and 5th yearites, because we are working on a research project, and it would be really nice of you to kind of give us your email address or like some kind of form of contact where we can get back to you and ask you a few questions. And like I'm posting out a Google link here, and please kind of fill this out, so at least we can get back to you and get to know more about your designing process as architecture students, because it's been a while since we graduated and we have kind of lost touch we don't remember exactly how we studied as architecture students, and it's really nice to get like a first-hand experience like from you guys, and it would really help our research project. And the second thing is we are also creating like a Facebook community for you to ask questions. So like I have a link over here for Facebook.
Eventually we came across that there are many people like who have different ideas or different concept, but struggle out on getting it out or presenting it in a proper way so that the faculty understands. And yeah, we kind of want to we want to let them know, or the way that they can do this about, or irrespective of that, any software problems that they face or they have, you can just pull it up on that group. And
there's like, I hope you can see the Facebook link, and can you guys see the Facebook link and the Google form link? One of you just say yes, please. Oh, cool. So yeah, the Google form link. Yeah, if
I think we'll definitely give. Matlab, you just see the link if you want. I mean, we'll give this to you separately as well. So no worry. Like the forms and Facebook links will definitely share with all
dude,
of
we
you.
don't have the email address up unless they share the email.
Yeah.
So there's no other way, like because
Okay.
we only have contacted like a few of these guys. Anyways, like you can, like, even if it's like a Lumion problem or SketchUp problem or simple AutoCAD
Anything.
problem, you can post it on the group, and hopefully we'll be able to sort stuff out.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of a way of like giving back to the community and helping out people who because we faced similar problems while we were students, and we really wish there was someone to help us out right then. And yeah, so if you post something on the group, we'll be able to get back to you. You can share the group with anyone you want, of course. Yeah, so thanks for
So I
attending.
guess
And
whoever I mean I guess there are people who shared the Zoom link. I don't know who shared the Zoom link about the first Zoom link that we had. So I mean, we'll upload this thing entirely on the we'll upload this forms and everything on the Facebook group as well. So people who have shared in different groups, they can easily share it, and just tell that they have any such things. So like, so that all the people who were before and the people who want to join in, I mean both they can have the access to the Facebook group, and that would be a bit easier for everyone to get along.
cool. Thanks for your time. Hopefully we'll upload this video soon.
Feedback. I want feedback actually. I
Yeah.
have 1 minute. I want feedbacks.
Yeah, like just like
we'll start one by one. Kya? Utkarsh
No.
Verma, roll number wise chalu kare.
Yeah, what could be improved? Like, what would you like to see in next
Yeah.
Sundays, for example? You can post it on the Facebook group, of course, like you want to see this, but it would be really nice if you just kind of speak stuff out right like now, because we have like 30 seconds.
Can we have longer sessions?
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, we will definitely.
we'll try
definitely
a
figure out a
different
way to do it.
platform. Yeah, we kind of realized
We didn't
that.
expect to honestly, we didn't expect to be I mean this much of data, but yeah, we'll try it out of way though. So yeah,
Of course, like this
definitely.
wasn't all like we kind of hacked this out. So like hopefully next
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, I think Google Meet does not have a restriction of 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll hopefully we'll do that.
Shruti, who's next? Shruti, any feedbacks?
I think we're gonna get kicked out any point.
It
Oh,
was
she's
good,
just-
but then some steps were too fast, so maybe you could
Okay.
slow it down.
Yeah,
Right.
we'll upload this video and hopefully you can kind of look at
So
it.
anything like